Our next chapter is Union Territories. If we go deeper, according to the Article 1, India has divided into two parts, three, where there are states and there are union territories and territories that India may conquer in future. Okay, so in that regard, we are having 29 states and 7 union territories, right? So now let's understand in deeper way what is actually these union territories are. We listen to them most often, but actually we might don't know the meaning. Now let's go into the core difference. Okay, now there are certain kind of things which we have to discuss when we listen to the word of union territories. Union territories are also kind of states, but they are not states. Basically, they are administrated under the governmentship of this central administration. That means the central government will control and the rule the union territories on its own. Of course, not basically only the central government by its own it does, but based on keeping the administrators and the lieutenants, they will rule the union, the 7 union territories. Okay, so if we go deeper, how are these union territories have created? Like already states were there, like even they can add this 7 into these states, right? Why again that thing? So if we get into the reason, the first thing is like these union territories are very small, very backward, and they are very sensitive. These all qualities, if some areas, if some states are having, then those would be considered as scheduled districts. So in their own department or in their own area, there will won't be any kind of local government. Only central can control it. But it was there in at the time of British rule, right? So now when the independence have got, what happened? India had got this an idea that we will make into part C and D states. But those are not states, but those are part C and D states. They have thought this. But then later what they have got is we can't name it as C and D. Let's get into a big change. So in 1956, they have named them as Union Territories under the Constitutional Amendment of 7th 1956. That is States Regulation Reorganization Act 1956. Okay. So for this reason they have made. And the reason why didn't India make them states? Yeah, we have already discussed, because they are too small, culturally different, strategically important, backward, and tribal. We will control them directly. This is the what the center has said. And in order to remember this in a simpler manner, we can directly remember as this is very crucial thing that which we have to what remember, like what are the states. Delhi has the cultural difference. Pondicherry has the security importance. Andaman and Nicobar needs the tribal protection. And Mizoram has become the states. The most important thing that which we have to discuss is some union territories later became as states. One thing is like Manipur, Tripura, Mizoram, Goa. Okay, there are temporary states sometimes. And how the administration goes, yeah, of course we know that the center will rule, but how? Who are the administrators? Of course the president of India, but not directly. He appoints an administrator. Now who is the administrator? Administration is the one who is appointed by the president. He is also known as the president's agent. He is not the governor, but he rules. Names of the administrators can be lieutenant governor and administrator. Lieutenant governors are there in Delhi, Pondicherry, Andaman and Nicobar, and administrators are there in Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, Dargah and Nagar Haveli, and Daman and Diu. Sometimes a state governor is also made administrator to nearly UT. Okay. Union territories are administered by whom? Governor or president? Of course, president. Next. Do all union territories have legislative assembly? No. Only two union territories have its own legislative assembly: Council of Ministers and Chief Ministers. Okay, and they are Delhi and Pondicherry. All other union territories have no elected government. Even in Delhi and Pondicherry, the president and parliaments are the supreme, not their own legislative assembly. Lawmaking power. Parliament can make any laws to the union territories, which subject to union list, state list, and concurrent list. Even for Delhi, Pondicherry as well. The parliament is the supreme, but Pondicherry Assembly has the state list plus concurrent list, and Delhi Assembly only have the state list. No police, no public order, no land plus concurrent list. Okay, and president's special power. What is the special power with regard to the union territories? Some union territories, president can directly make laws, which are Andaman and Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Dagra and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu. Pondicherry only when assembly is suspended or dissolved. High courts. Delhi has its own high court. No other states have their own high courts. Delhi has given another importance because that's the capital. One thing is like Delhi is a union territory with special powers but not a fully state. Let's get deeper into it. What changed in 1991? In 69th Constitutional Amendment Act, these three things has been happened. One thing, renamed Delhi as National Capital Territory. Administrator became Lieutenant Governor, gave Delhi an elected government. Delhi's legislature. Legislative Assembly created 70 members directly elected. Elections by the Election Commission of India. Earlier, only councils are there, no real legislature. Lawmaking power of Delhi Assembly. Delhi Assembly can make on state list and concurrent list. Except on the three subjects, this is public order, police, land. These three things are controlled by the parliament. Okay. If Delhi law and parliament law clash, parliament wins. The Council of Ministers. Total ministers are 10% of assembly. That is 7 ministers. One chief minister, 6 other ministers. Chief minister is appointed by the president, other ministers are appointed by the president on the advice of CM. Ministers work during the president's pleasure. Government is responsible for the assembly. Role of Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant Governor normally works on the advice of the ministers. But Lieutenant Governor disagrees. That means in regard to the presidents, then the president decision is final. There is no value for this Lieutenant Governor. And the other point is president's rule in India. President's rule in Delhi. If Delhi cannot run properly, president can suspend Delhi's government, directly rule Delhi. Similar to the act of Article 366, president ruled in states. The legislative government can issue ordinance with assembly, not in the sessions. Ordinance is some force as assembly law. It's not possible. Must be approved within 6 weeks. Needs prior permission of president. Not allowed when assembly is dissolved or suspended. So these are the points which were there for the special provisions of Delhi. Okay, now I guess I've covered every topic on union territories, and thank you.